Functional dependency in SQL means that you can have any given object in your database that refers to any other object in the database. And as such, the referencing object depends on the existence of the referenced object. So we see in this example, procedure A contains any set of SQL expressions. Whatever they are, doesn't matter, but at some point in there, it refers to procedure B. So with that, procedure B must exist. If you were to remove procedure B, then procedure A would fail because it's trying to find something that no longer exists. So to prevent that problem, you can implement a property known as schema binding. Schema-bound dependencies implement relationships that prevent the referenced entity from being dropped or modified as long as the referencing entity exists. So again, A is referencing B, hence A depends on B. So as long as A exists, B cannot be dropped or modified due to the schema binding property. Now, if you were to drop A first, then the referencing procedure is gone. B can then be dropped. So it just comes down to sequence, really. But schema binding, in general, prevents a lot of errors so that you don't end up with these objects that are referring to other objects that have subsequently been deleted. Now, just quickly as well, dropped and or modified. You could certainly go in and make some minor changes. If you need to just correct some minor typos in your comments or things like that, or possibly even change a piece of criteria. You did maybe look for value X, now you're looking for value Y. Those kinds of modifications are fine, but a modification that would alter the structure of the object would violate the schema binding. So, for example, you couldn't just drop a column from a table that is being referenced. So those are the kinds of modifications that aren't allowed. Minor changes would be. Now, in terms of creating these schema-bound objects, you simply issue the with schema binding clause in the syntax of your create statement. So you would create object X, whatever it is, define its properties, and then finish it off with the with schema binding clause, and that enforces that relationship so that it cannot be dropped or modified as long as there are other referencing objects. Now, tables, I will tell you, tables are the most commonly referenced objects